Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8, a phone that truly is the start of a new era for foldables. Not just Samsung foldables, but foldables in general. Because you see, this passport-style form factor is something that we'll be seeing way more of. We first saw this with the WallpaperZ X Max back in April. Now we've got this Galaxy Z Fold 8 with the same approach. And even the iPhone Ultra, Apple's first foldable iPhone that's coming later this year, is expected to also look like this. Now, Samsung does still offer the traditional form factor with the now renamed Z Fold Ultra, but that's a topic for a different video, so make sure you subscribe for that. This video is all about the new, wider Galaxy Z Fold 8. And during my time with it last week, I found 10 things you should know before buying one, including one spec that Samsung cut out that I'm not a big fan of, and also a price that may surprise you, maybe in a good way. Number 1, the form factor. You can probably tell that this is not your usual foldable. You see, ever since the original Galaxy Fold from back in 2019, the form factor remained more or less the same. Samsung made the cover screen wider over the years, with the Z Fold 7 being quite close to a regular phone, but it still wasn't quite there yet. So this time around, they made it extra wide. So wide that it's now significantly shorter than a regular Galaxy Fold 2. Some may say that's because Apple's own wide foldable is coming out in September, and Samsung wanted to have the upper hand. They do literally supply Apple's own displays after all. Personally, I simply just like having multiple options. Now we've got 3 different foldable styles from Samsung. The advantage with this Fold 8, however, is that you have a far more pocketable device that feels like a passport in your pocket. When you unfold it, you get this very wide foldable that's just perfect for watching videos. If I put it side by side against the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, you'll see that the Ultra shows way larger black bars. Now, if I flip the Ultra to landscape, you'll see that the viewable area is actually about the same on both, because the width of the phones in this case is almost identical. So on the Fold 8, you simply just lose some of that extra height, which for watching videos, you don't really need that anyways. For anything other than videos though, the Fold 8 Ultra is still superior. That taller display does actually fit more content, so on the homepage, you do get about an extra row of widgets here. But still, I much prefer the cover screen on the Z Fold 8, as it is way wider and way easier to type on as a result, and just nicer overall. And in Flex mode, which is the semi-folded state, the Z Fold 8 is also far superior, because you get a bigger screen, you get a larger keyboard to type on, and it's just nicer. But my favorite way of using this phone, well, it's the one that almost no one's really talking about, and that's opened but in a vertical orientation, which gives you this really nice book style form factor. I think this is going to be my new favorite way of reading ebooks now. It reminds me a lot of a Kindle Paperwhite in shape. And this is also a great shape for browsing the web or even social media. It just fits so perfectly in my hand. Now, there's just one thing that could actually ruin this book-like experience, and it's the thing that everyone's been asking me about. You see, a lot of people who want to buy a foldable usually stay away from them for one reason, and that's, of course, the crease. But when you actually start using a foldable, you'll forget that a crease is even there. And unless you use your phone in the opposite orientation to the crease, you're never going to even feel it anyways. And this is even more true with the Galaxy Z Fold 8, because Samsung is now using Flex titanium technology, a thin titanium alloy film under the OLED display, plus another flexible titanium plate underneath it, which actually reduces the crease to an almost imperceptible level. When I use this in portrait orientation, aka the eBook mode, I generally could not notice it. It was that good. And yes, the crease on the Z Fold 8 is as good as the one on the Z Fold 8 Ultra, which is also on par with the Oppo Find N6's crease, the current creaseless king. But Samsung actually went a step beyond and gave both folds an anti-reflective coating as well. And this is what completely transforms the display. It's not quite as good as on the S24 or S25 Ultra, that was like something else entirely, but it is on par with the Oppo Find N6's coating, which is the best anti-reflective coating on a foldable. Combine that with the new almost invisible crease, And this display is absolutely gorgeous when it's fully open. You literally cannot tell that this is a foldable phone. It kind of looks like a tablet. Now, the fifth thing you should know is when it comes to the brightness. Surprisingly, this has the exact same brightness as the new Z Fold 8 Ultra. That's 3000 nits on both the external and the internal displays. That's from the previous 2600 on the Z Fold 7. Although in person, these new folds looked significantly brighter than last year's Z Fold 7. Like, I literally had to double check that the Fold 7's brightness was indeed maxed out. The difference was that big. So for watching content or using it outdoors, this is going to be a brilliant device. And if you want to make that display look even more brilliant, of course you can check out our wallpapers. We've got stunning 8K quality and they're all made by our team of close to 40 designers. So check them all out at WallpaperZ.com. Now, the Fold 8 is also insanely light. The Fold 7 was already the world's lightest foldable at 215 grams. Well, the Fold 8 is now just 201 grams. That's 32 grams lighter than even an iPhone 17 Pro Max, of course, while having a gigantic display compared to it. So whenever I held it, it kind of felt hollow. It's why I said this makes such a perfect e-reader, because guess what? It's actually lighter than even the Kindle Paperwhite at 211 grams. But nothing can be too perfect, right? So there are some downsides that you guys should be aware of, and the second one does actually sting. The first one is the thickness, which is now 4.5 millimeters when unfolded. That's compared to the Fold 8 Ultra's even thinner 4.1 millimeters body. Now, when you fold it, it is 9.7 millimeters thick, as opposed to the Fold 8 Ultra's 8.9 millimeters. So you are definitely getting a thicker foldable. But at the same time, when you consider that the current Pixel 10 Pro Fold is 10.9 millimeters, and then the upcoming iPhone Ultra is rumored to be around 11 millimeters, I think 9.7 is still quite good. Next one is the cameras. That's another reason to go for the Ultra, actually. We only get 2 models here instead of 3. We get a 50 megapixel main camera and the 50 megapixel ultra-wide. That's actually the same ultra-wide as on the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the S26 Ultra, which is great, but we are losing the Ultra's 3x telephoto module. Although personally, I don't actually mind losing that, as that one has a super small 1/3.94 inch sensor. That's actually smaller than even the front-facing camera sensor. So realistically, you can get better quality just by cropping in to 3x on the main sensor. So that's not really a loss. What is a loss though is that main sensor. We actually don't get that same 200 megapixel sensor as on the Z Fold 8 Ultra. We only get a 50 megapixel sensor that's the same one that we have on the Samsung Galaxy S26 and the S26 Plus, which is also the same one as on the S25, 4, 3, and 2, which means that we're getting 5-year-old hardware in a 2026 top-of-the-line foldable device. That's also very expensive, by the way. I was hoping for at least the new 50 megapixel sensor, or worst case, the same 200 megapixel as on the Fold 8 Ultra, but unfortunately we're not getting that. Although I should say that the image processing is still better. We do have a new ISP, which is included with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy chip. So the image quality will still be good, just not quite as good as on the Z Fold 8 Ultra, for example. The good news, however, the battery specs are almost identical to the Z Fold 8 Ultra. So both feature 45 watts of fast charging for 63% in 30 minutes on the Z Fold 8. And we also have a 4800 mAh battery that is now finally silicon carbon, guys. Finally. The Z Fold 8 Ultra has 5000, also silicon carbon, which is great. And despite this 200 mAh battery difference, the rated video playback is 26 hours compared to 27. So we only lose 1 hour video playback on the Z Fold 8. And both feature faster 20 watts of wireless charging, up from the previous 15 on the Fold 7. Which brings me to the final thing you should know about this device, and that's of course the price, which is not bad. It's $60.99 for the Fold 8, or £200 less here in the UK compared to the Fold 8 Ultra. That's for the base 256GB model with 12GB of RAM. Now, if you go for the 1TB, you get 16GB of RAM, and that's on either of the Folds. Now, the colors are a bit different though, as the Fold 8 Ultra comes in violet shadow, cream, graphite, and violet green. That's the online exclusive, whereas the Fold 8 comes in lavender, cream, graphite, and pistachio. So I mean, for the most part, you do actually get pretty much everything else with the Z Fold 8. You're mostly missing out on that 200 megapixel sensor, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's really it. You get the same chip, you get the same amount of RAM, you get, you know, the same display brightness, same anti-reflective coating. Basically everything else is here, which is great, and that's for £200 less. So yeah, personal thoughts, I actually prefer this form factor over the Z Fold 8 Ultra, but if you want to see the video on the Fold 8 Ultra, I've got some interesting discoveries on that as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for that. And yeah, other than that, I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.